Mark Mullins from Sociology 241. This is my video reflection of Module 3, which is dominating ideologies, oppression, and inequalities. And one thing that really interests me about dominating ideologies is the way they spoke about South Africa and Africa, and the way it was like mainly like white people oppressing them and having like the apartheid and all that going on. And there's this rapper that I listen to called Deltron 3030, and he talks about how he predicts in the year 3030, because jokingly, but he says that he thinks that by the year 3030 or whatever in the future, that eventually there's going to be a global apartheid by the dominating ideologies of Christianity. And that's something I always found interesting, because I noticed that when you speak of like the year 2000 or the year 1999 or anything like that, what you're really referring to is the year since they established Christ's death and resurrection and all that happened. And anything before that, they just say, oh, that was before Christ. But really, technically, we're on like year 4,800,000,000 and something million, something, whatever. Or technically, like by the Earth's age. But it's all relative anyway, by age, anyways. But what my thinking is, like, the dominating ideology of today is Christianity. I mean, you see all these TV shows devoted to Christian fundamentalism, like all these different sermons being taught or told, and like people have TV shows about them in their church and communities and all that. And I noticed, like, where we live on the reservation, like, there's dozens of Christian-based churches, and it's all the way they interpret the Bible. And like in our household, we're traditional, like Native American, like we do tradition, like our traditions, and that's what we learned growing up. And coming over here and living with my family, on my dad's side, like just throw into, we had ceremonies and stuff, and then when we meet our cousins and my grandpa and all that, my grandpa is a pastor, and they're all Christians. Like, they all have their own, like, 3 of my family members each have their own church, and they all go off the Bible, but they interpret it their own way. Like, one time, like, they had one church all together, but then, like, my uncle didn't like the way my grandpa was speaking or the way he interpreted it, so he made his own church. He found his own church, and he taught his own way. And then my aunt that was going to church with him didn't like the way he interpreted it, so they started going to a different church in Phoenix. And it kept doing that over and over with different families and stuff. Now there's dozens of churches, and like, I just hope that it's not the ultimately dominating ideology. Like, that's not what makes or breaks mankind. But yeah, those are just my thoughts, and the way they oppress others, and yeah, that's just my thinking. It's something I found interesting. Just thought I'd share that.